We've got a headline here from NPR. A whistleblower's disclosure details how DOGE may have taken sensitive labor data. It gets a lot worse than that. I've read into a little bit of this. It seems like some of our sensitive information, our top security details, are being sent to Russia. Allegedly, perhaps, there's a whistleblower at the NLRB who has gone into comprehensive detail about how these DOGE goons, those like 21-year-old fucking groypers, how they're hacking into our government institutions. We've already seen them, they've been stealing data, they've been hacking into stuff and downloading it into a private server. They're just straight up deleting information left and right. These DOGE goons are allegedly sending this information to IP addresses that are based in Russia. And the worst part is, and we're going to get into it, this whistleblower, after he blew said whistle, allegedly, a note was taped to his front door that had drone images of him walking his dog. So, what? Let's just dive right in. Before we do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. Luigi, you cut the shit. Give me that string. And then if you want to help the channel financially, you could become a patron. Big shout out to my patrons. You could also become a member on YouTube. Luigi, get down! You can buy some merch, and you can use a 40% off discount on Ground News. So, without any further ado, let's get to reading. This is a long one, but it's a very important one. In the first days of March, a team of advisors from President Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency initiative arrived at the Southeast Washington, D.C. headquarters of the National Labor Relations Board, or the NLRB. The small independent federal agency investigates and adjudicates complaints about unfair labor practices. It stores reams of potentially sensitive data, from confidential information about employees who want to form unions to proprietary business information. The DOGE employees, who are effectively led by White House advisor and billionaire tech CEO Elon Musk, appeared to have their sights set on accessing the NLRB's internal systems. They've said their unit's overall mission is to review agency data for compliance with the new administration's policies and to cut costs and maximize efficiency. So we've heard thrown around left and right waste, fraud, and abuse, and yet there have been no charges, man. Nobody's been charged with fraud. There's been no court cases. There's been no investigations. They are not targeting waste, fraud, and abuse. What they are targeting is sensitive data. They're targeting Social Security. They're targeting the anti-scam police. They're targeting USAID. And yet, nobody has been charged with any sort of fraud. All right? Let's keep on reading here. This is where it gets juicy. But, according to an official whistleblower disclosure shared with Congress and other federal overseers that was obtained by NPR, subsequent interviews with the whistleblower and records of internal communications, technical staff members were alarmed about what DOGE engineers did when they were granted access, particularly when those staffers noticed a spike in data leaving the agency. It's possible that the data included sensitive information on unions, ongoing legal cases, and corporate secrets, data that 4 labor law experts tell NPR should almost never leave the NLRB. And that has nothing to do with making the government more efficient or cutting spending. Meanwhile, according to the disclosure and records of internal communications, members of the DOGE team asked that their activities not be logged on the system, and then appeared to try and cover their tracks behind them, turning off monitoring tools and manually deleting records of their access. Evasive behavior that several cybersecurity experts interviewed by NPR compared to what criminal or state-sponsored hackers might do. So listen, guys, this fucking piece of shit slimy cocksucker, right? This guy has a private team of hackers illegally downloading our information and shipping it off to allegedly Russian IPs, right? And then they cover their fucking tracks. They make it look like they haven't done anything. This is catastrophic. Now, here it gets even more juicy. The employees grew concerned that the NLRB's confidential data could be exposed, particularly after they started detecting suspicious login attempts from an IP address in Russia, according to the disclosure. Let me read that again. The employees grew concerned that the NLRB's confidential data could be exposed, particularly after they started detecting suspicious login attempts from an IP address in Russia. Yo, chat, we're fucked. Eventually, the disclosure continued, the IT department launched a formal review of what it deemed a serious, ongoing security breach or potentially illegal removal of personally identifiable information. The whistleblower believes that the suspicious activity warrants further investigation by agencies with more resources, like the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency or the FBI. Now, I want to point something out for you real quick. Oh, Jesus. Ready? This is from March 19th. From March 19th, U.S. suspends some efforts to counter Russian sabotage as Trump moves closer to Putin, right? This is essentially, about a month ago, the Trump administration removed most of our security against Russian cyber attacks. And seemingly, we are being fucking attacked. Look, several U.S. national security agencies have halted work on a coordinated effort to counter Russian sabotage, disinformation, and cyber attacks. It's fucking happening in front of your eyes. It's happening in front of your eyes. Now, let's keep reading. The labor law experts interviewed by NPR fear that if the data gets out, it could be abused, including by private companies with cases before the agency that might get insights into damaging testimony, union leadership, legal strategies, and internal data on competitors, Musk's SpaceX among them. It could also intimidate whistleblowers who might speak up about unfair labor practices, and it could sow distrust in the NLRB's independence, they said. Now, listen, we're not going to read this entire article, but we are going to get to a very, very juicy part in the next couple of minutes. The new revelations about DOGE's activities at the labor agencies came from a whistleblower in the IT department of the NLRB, who disclosed his concerns to Congress and the U.S. Office of Special Counsel in a detailed report that was then provided to NPR. Meanwhile, his attempts to raise concerns internally within the NLRB preceded someone, quote, physically taping a threatening note to his door that included sensitive personal information and overhead photos of him walking his dog that appeared to be taken with a drone, according to a cover letter attached to his disclosure filed by his attorney, Andrew D.O.G.E. of the nonprofit Whistleblower Aid. This man's attorney he got 4.0s in high school, and then he got undergrad, and then he went to grad school, and then he went to law school, and he passed the bar, and he's covered many a client, and now he's got this client. And this man, this attorney, a federal attorney, filed a report saying my client got a file taped to his door with his personal information and drone shots of him walking his dog, after disclosing that DOGE may or may not be allegedly, and I'm saying this because I'm genuinely afraid, is sending information to Russia. The whistleblower's account is corroborated by internal documentation and was reviewed by 11 technical experts across other government agencies and the private sector. In total, NPR spoke to over 30 sources across the government, the private sector, the labor movement, cybersecurity, and law enforcement who spoke to their own concerns about how DOGE and the Trump administration might be handling sensitive data and the implications for its exposure. Much of the following account comes from the whistleblower's official disclosure and interviews by NPR. Quote, "I can't attest to what their end goal was or what they're doing with the data," said the whistleblower, Daniel Baroulis, in an interview with NPR. Why are you giving us his name? "But I can tell you that the bits of the puzzle that I can quantify are scary. This is a very bad picture we're looking at." Oh my god, oh my god. So, it looks like we may have a national security concern with DOGE. I don't even know what to say. You're reading it. If you want to access this article, just go to NPR. The article, I'm going to show you the cover again, is called "A Whistleblower's Disclosure Details How DOGE May Have Taken Sensitive Labor Data." Now, again, I want to remind you, you see that chat up there? Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're notified the next time we go live. I make these videos live. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're a live chatter, you stay here. The live stream is going to continue, but the video is going to end. Also, do me a favor and click that video on screen. I promise you it's a fucking banger. I'll catch you in the next Valenti VOD. Keep hope alive.